As authorities confirm the death of a youth Corp member during the Rivers rerun election, are these NYSC members now an endangered species? And we turn our attention to the causes of electoral violence as the Rivers State case leaves a sour taste to the senseless killings during elections. Who is to blame for the unnecessary bloodletting? That's the focus on the program. Thank you for joining in, everyone. Well, before we get deep into the matters, let's begin with some top political stories. I'm Imana Amawe.
Political roundup on China's television. Here are your top political stories this time.
Youths in Ekiti State have again taken to the streets of Ado-Ekiti, the capital of the southwest state, to protest what they say is a continued illegal detention of a state lawmaker, Honorable Afolabi Akoni, by the Department of State Security, the DSS.
The abduction of the State Assembly member is illegal, and Akoni must not die in DSS custody.
The youth are drawn from about 16 local government areas under the umbrella of the National Youth Council. Security personnel are on hand to ensure there is no breakdown of law and order in the process of the protest. They march through the streets singing solidarity songs, burning placards with inscriptions condemning the arrest of the lawmaker and the role of the DSS. And the Bishop of Sokoto Catholic Diocese, Reverend Father Matthew Kuka, has been speaking about the administration of President Muhammadu Buhari. Bishop Kuka says fighting corruption is a good thing that ought to be in a bigger policy as the country needs practical plans that suggest where the Buhari administration is taking the nation.
Fighting corruption is not a policy. You know, we need practical things about how and where we are going. Fighting corruption can only be tangentially part of a larger vision. I think where we are now, there are very difficult moments. But Nigerians must understand that the wheels of democracy are irreversible.
It was a contempt charge against the Speaker of the Edo State House of Assembly, but the lawmaker did not show up to answer the case. The Speaker failed to appear before the appeal court to answer contempt proceeding against him, initiated by Sylvanus Eruaga for failure to swear him into the Edo State House of Assembly. Rather, the presiding justice of the Court of Appeal sitting in Benin City, Justice Jimmy Bada, advised all parties involved in the matter to find a common ground of settlement out of court. He said it will entertain the application filed by the Edo State Solicitor General, Wale Iyamu, for an order discharging the process of contempt of court initiated against the Speaker of the Edo State House of Assembly if they fail to resolve the matter by themselves before the 4th of April 2016.
The elders of the party.
And now the crisis of interest rocking the All Progressives Congress APC in Kano State appears to be deepening as the party suspends its state chairman, Mr. Omar Dogua, and the organizing secretary, Sanusi Kwankwaso. The newly appointed caretaker chairman, Mr. Abdullahi Abbas, led a delegation of other party members from Kano State to the party secretariat in Abuja, where announced the suspension of the 2 members of the party. The former chairman and his organizing secretary are accused of engaging in anti-party activities in the feud between the incumbent governor and his predecessor. Meanwhile, the national chairman of the party says the crisis should not be allowed to thrive, as the national secretariat has set up a panel to resolve the issues.
It is a situation that we must not, as a party, allow to blossom. We must nip it in the bud.
And you're up to date. Those are your top political stories you need to know.
Well, now to the issues of the day. Let's beam the spotlight on Rivers State, where the rerun elections of Saturday, March the 19th, has left in its trail several queries demanding answers. With the two main political parties in the state, the ruling People's Democratic Party and the All Progressives Congress, trading blames, it seems there is no end in sight to the crisis brewing in the state's political atmosphere. And in the mix is the military, whom the governor of the state has accused of trying to subvert the will of the people, while the All Progressives Congress has called for a total cancellation of the election, describing it as a mockery to the entire democratic process. Another major player which has fallen victim of the Rivers rerun fallout is the electoral umpire, INEC, which has confirmed the death of one of its ad hoc staff, a member of the National Youth Service Corps, during the rerun elections held in the state last Saturday. Expectedly, this has caused anxiety on the measures put in place to secure the lives and protect the welfare of these corps members who are drafted in to serve the country as ad hoc staff for the electoral body during elections. Can INEC conduct elections without the large number of youth corps members it has resorted to enrolling in the past years? And how much training do these ad hoc staff actually receive before being sent out in the field? What are the provisions made for their security? And now to analyze some of these issues, I'm being joined in the studio here in Lagos by Dr. Joke Odumaki. She's a human rights activist and the president for Women Arise. Thank you very much for joining us on the program today.
A pleasure.
Also with me in the studio is Mr. Akin Orebiyi. He is the former resident electoral commissioner for Lagos State. Welcome to the program.
Thank you. Good evening.
Well, the discussion will also be having a legal practitioner join us from Abuja studios. He is also a policy analyst, Aliyu Abdullahi. Welcome to the program. Well, let me start with you.
Thank you very much, Mana.
Thank you very much. Let me start with you, Dr. Odumaki. This isn't the first time a youth corps member is dying. INEC officials are constantly attacked during elections, and it's sad enough. Another member of the NYC died on Saturday during the Saturday rerun election in Rivers State. Do you think INEC should continue? Is this a partnership working? Should INEC continue enrolling NYC members as ad hoc staff when their security and welfare isn't guaranteed?
I think that as stakeholders, INEC cannot do it all alone. But it's important that adequate security is made in order to secure lives and property. I still remember the sad incident that happened in 2011 in Bauchi, when we lost some of our coppers. And sad enough, this is also happening in River State. We know that the umpire has a lot in ensuring that we'll have a peaceful and fair election. But there are other stakeholders that will have to join hands together in order for us to make sure that we'll have credible election. Reference to the coppers that are also ad hoc staff. I think that time has come for us to stop agonizing and organize, because any life lost can never be replaced. So I want to plead with all stakeholders. We'll have, no matter what INEC will do in ensuring that there's a peace